Hello, everybody. This is Intentional Healing, and I am Nicole Bridger. Today, I want to talk about how does one stay centered when needing to get things done, when things get busy again. Before we begin, just taking a deep breath, and as you exhale, sink into your seat. Giving yourself these few minutes of being present. Everything will still be out there in your world when you're done. So whether right now you have had a time of slowing down, a lot of people, because of COVID, have had an experience of slowing down, spending more time with family, really seeing what's important in their life. And really, to be honest, a lot of people that come to see me as clients, whether in retreats, workshops, one-to-one, they've also experienced some kind of break from, let's call it the hamster wheel. Maybe they got sick and had no choice but to slow down and start to find a new way. Maybe they were going through a divorce or a loss of a loved one, and that had them really shift how they spend their time. Perhaps they came for a 2-week retreat, and that was a way of really going inward, slowing down, connecting more deeply inside with their true self. Whatever it is, there comes a moment when we are ready to re-emerge into busy daily life. And many of us face this question of, how do I keep this sort of space or feeling of centeredness even when life gets busy again? Sure, it's been easy to meditate when I don't have to be at work for 10 hours a day. Or, gosh, my to-do list is building back up again, and I can feel that I'm afraid of slipping back into the way I was before. So the first thing, if you are starting to feel that, if you're starting to feel okay, you know, the restrictions around COVID are starting to loosen, and now we're going back into a little bit of daily life, and I'm scared of going back into that mode of busy, busy, busy. How do I keep this sense of peace and centeredness? So you're right, it is really easy to slip back into them, and it requires some awareness and intention. It's not dissimilar to my own experience around creating this new business that I do now, this new vocation. When I had my previous business as a clothing designer for 10 years, I was very much in the mode of busy, never-ending to-do lists, no time for self-care, because the the work and being a single mom was all too much and too important, and there was no slowing down. And then I got sick and was forced to slow down. And then slowly in that period started transitioning into becoming an intuitive coach. And as I moved to Bali and had this space of healing and going in, as I started to create the new business or vocation of intuitive coaching, I was very mindful that I didn't want to have that same busyness behind it. So every time that I could feel that busyness wanting to kick in again, that little fear of, is it, are we going to have enough money this month, or who am I to do this, or these little fears that kick in, I was able to, because of the work that I've done, I was able to be aware when those were showing up and wanting to essentially drive the bus, and how to slow down, take a deep breath, and nudge back into a place of trust, a place of flow. And what happened there was that everything flowed so easily, so beautifully, and much quicker than had I gone from a place of trying to push something, from a place of fear, from a place of not trusting. So the gift there, when we intentionally put ourselves into a place of trust and flow, is that everything that we desire can happen with ease and speed, and actually the outcome can be much better than if we were to force something not right from a place of fear. The first step when you are desiring this shift in experience is to first really feel into what it is that you're afraid of. When you feel that urge to get busy again, to build that long to-do list, to start ignoring sort of the needs inside, and to kind of fill yourself with external things, there is an underlying fear that drives that, because that fear feels like how to fix what it's afraid of. If we go into busy mode, it somehow will outrun the fear. And each one of us, the fear is a little bit different. So this is really about listening in. I find taking a deep breath, placing your hand wherever on your body you're feeling it. It might be your chest, your solar plexus, your belly, your throat. And asking yourself, what is it that this part of me is afraid of? For me, there was definitely a fear in there of needing to prove my worth, afraid of getting it wrong. What if I try this intuitive coaching thing and it's wrong, and I made the wrong decision to change careers, I made the wrong decision to move to Bali? You can feel that for me, that was in the solar plexus, that nausea of self-worth, of fear of getting it wrong. For some of us, we have a kind of addiction around being busy. There is a false sense of identity around, when I'm busy, I'm important, I'm of value, I'm providing. I am more important than those around me, my spouse, my parents, siblings. And these are hard things to admit to ourselves, because in admitting that, sometimes it even brings up a sense of shame that we even hold that somewhere. So as you're actually listening to this part of you, know that judgment is not helpful here. And just listen from a place of awareness, just desiring to hear what's really going on, desire to hear the truth. Because as soon as you judge that part of you for wanting to prove your worth, then that judgment keeps it in a state of fear, and it will hold that fear in you instead of listening, understanding, softening. Then that fear can loosen its grip. Then you can shift it. Sometimes we trick ourselves or fool ourselves. Okay, well, this thing in me is wanting to get busy again, so I guess what I'm gonna need to do is just make some more rules in my timetable and in my schedule. I'm gonna have to be more fierce that I meditate at 7 a.m. or that I work out, and that you can feel is actually coming from a place of fear. Though the intention, might be good, even in something like meditating, if our deeper intention behind meditating every morning comes from a place of fear that we might slip back into busyness, then it won't actually have the outcome we desire. If our intention behind meditating every morning is because it feels good, we want to be more connected to our divine selves, we want to be able to listen more clearly every day, and there's no attachment around it, then it will actually provide the experience that we are seeking. So asking yourself, what is this part of me afraid of that wants to click into busy, that wants to click into action and to-do list and rules and proving, and just listen. And as you listen, understanding that that part of you was not formed to harm you or hurt you or make life difficult. It was formed to try to help you. At some point in your life, there was something that happened that was uncomfortable, and you subconsciously decided how you would outrun that uncomfortable feeling is to prove yourself, to stay busy, that a successful person is always busy and working really hard. Now that you've been gifted this space and you know what that feels like, you are desiring a shift in that belief. That belief in you is ready to be healed. So lovingly listen to what it's really afraid of. And then ask yourself before moving forward in anything, whether it's going to a meeting, setting a schedule, meditating or exercising, meeting someone for lunch or dinner. Ask yourself, am I doing this from a place of fear? Or am I doing this from a place of trust? and flow and love, essentially. And anytime you do feel that you're coming from a little place of fear, it's not that the action needs to necessarily shift, but just the intention behind it. So if I'm about to go meet somebody because I have a fear that I might lose a connection with them, or lose their friendship, or because I'm getting so busy, then to slow down and listen to that part of me that's afraid. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that it's all okay, that you are in the process of learning how to show up in your everyday life from a place of flow, from a place of trust. You are in the process of learning what it feels like to move back into daily life while staying connected and centered. And let that soothe you, ease you. And remember that it is absolutely possible for you to move back into work and life and getting things done while in a place of flow. And the beauty of all of this is when you do actually click into flow, that even more happens with greater ease than ever could before. And a kind of magic happens. When you're in flow and you're listening and you're receiving guidance, you end up connecting with people you didn't expect, or certain outcomes come that you weren't necessarily seeking. And more of the feelings and experience you are desiring and seeking can actually come into your experience because you're in flow, not resistance, not trying to push the brick up the hill. You're letting it slide down with ease. So I hope that's helpful for any of you that are in the middle of that kind of shift. Please reach out to me anytime. Nicole Bridger is my Instagram, NicoleBridger.com, my website. And I wish you a blessed, blessed day.